let's talk about oligopolies, game theory, payoff matrices, and how we can analyze stuff with payoff matrices. So we have two companies, Company A and Company B, and they're in an oligopoly market structure, which means that each company has a lot of market share, and the decisions that one company makes largely influences the decisions that another company makes because each company is essentially looking at what the other companies do and making decisions based on that because there's a limited number of firms. And so if we can analyze this payoff matrix, we'll see something interesting happening. Let's look at Company A first. And let's say that Company A was to charge low. And this represents charging low or charging high, as we can see here. And these represent the profits for each company. The profits for Company A are represented in this portion of the payoff matrix, and Company B is in the other portion. So if Company A chooses to charge low prices, then Company B has two decisions, obviously. It can charge low as well, or it can charge high. Now let's see what Company B will do regardless of what Company A does, and that's essentially hinting towards what's going to happen. So Company A, if it charges low, Company B can charge low, and if Company B charges low and Company A charges low, we're going to end up here. Now, Company B's profits are going to be $120 million. It's in millions. Now, if Company B charges high when Company A charges low, its profits are going to be 160 million. Assuming this is a profit maximizing firm and it wants profits, then this is a preferable outcome. So Company B is going to charge high. But let's look at if Company A charges high. Then what will Company B do? Will Company B charge low or high? Let's see. If Company A charges high and not low, then Company B can charge low and get 50 million, or it can charge high and get 100 million in profits. Now again, it's gonna charge high because that's where it's gonna benefit the most. So regardless if Company A charges low or high, Company B regardless is gonna charge high. That is Company B's dominant strategy. So charging high, we have a dominant strategy for Company B. It's basically like in a game, and that's why this is a game theory. Now, if we look at the other side of things, Company B, if Company B charges low, then Company A can charge low or high. If Company B charges low and Company A chooses to charge low, the profits it's going to get is 120 million. But if it charges high when Company B charges low, the profit it's going to get is 160 million. Obviously, 160 million is more than 120 million, so it's going to charge high. Now, if Company B charges high, on the other hand, Company A can choose to charge low and get 50 million, or it can choose to charge high and get 100 million. Again, Company A is going to charge high. So after some analysis, we can conclude that Company A is going to charge high because that's its dominant strategy. Which means at the end of the day, since both of these companies have a dominant strategy, they're going to end up going towards their dominant strategy, which means both of them are going to charge high. And as you can see, when both companies charge high, they end up in this portion of the graph, in this box, rectangle. So they're both going to charge high, which means that they're going to end up here in this place here, which means that they are going to receive $100 million in profit each. Now, if we sum up the total profits, this is going to be 200 million. This is going to be 210 million. This is going to be 240 million. And this is going to be the same thing as before, 210 million. So clearly the best outcome for both of them is to charge low, but they don't get to this outcome because they'd only get to the high outcome if both companies do their dominant strategy. And this is assuming that the companies do not collude, and don't form any kind of a cartel and collude. If they collude, then they can privately they can speak with one another. If it's explicit collusion, they can speak with one another, and they can communicate and both charge low. If it's implicit, then even then they would essentially charge low, but they wouldn't be explicitly communicating with one another. So they would get the maximum profits, which would be 240, but they end up in the Nash's equilibrium, the worst possible outcome of 200 million. This is also sometimes called the prisoner's dilemma. So this is the idea of how oligopolies, if they do not communicate with one another, they choose their dominant strategies, and as a result of choosing their dominant strategies, they could end up in a problematic state where they're receiving the lowest amount of total profits.